Practicing democratic principles. Organizational learning is severely restricted without the ability to access information, question, and speak with dissent without fear of reprisal. Practicing democratic principles is one supporting condition to support organizational learning. An open atmosphere is the best environment to support learning.
Democratic principles, a way of thinking. Often, democratic principles are valued but left at the doorway in many workplaces. The newest shift in thinking is that a workplace should allow for these democratic principles and permit questioning, allow access to information, and provide a setting for the open dialogue to develop all members.
As a way of living democratic principles, error detection is essential, where members can easily access information. Communication between and among members is encouraged rather than looked upon with suspicion. These are the ways an organization can become democratically oriented in its practices. There are various degrees of participation, according to Wenger. There are people who are on the periphery, people who are at the core. There are people who serve as brokers between groups, and there are boundaries between groups. The dialogue has to cross the boundaries between these groups and within the groups. Those members on the periphery have to be engaged for a full democratic way of living to be fulfilled. If we marginalize individuals or communities within the organization, then we marginalize democratic principles. Learning in organizations with democratic principles is characterized as double loop learning, where behavior and systems can and should be challenged. Collinson and Cook contend that school systems are still facing contradictions to this open way of living. Teachers are limited in their authority, if not their ability, to affect change. The isolation of a teacher in the classroom leads to single-loop learning and constrains the growth that would go along with that, namely, weak problem-solving skills, defensive group dynamics, tendency to not disrupt what's outside their sphere of influence. In general, schools talk a good game, but do not practice what they're supposed to be teaching. A big contradiction. Democratic life, bureaucratic model. I don't know, for all time, according to our authors, human beings have developed hierarchies, and these hierarchies inherently feature a class structure, a society. But really, democracy says, and equality says, that everyone is equal. A hierarchy tends to make some people or positions more equal than others. Democracy is messy. Innovation is encouraged. Bureaucracy is defined where you cannot color outside the lines. Democracy provides checks and balances. It protects the minority, designed to generate more alternative positions, more what-ifs. And it can be a catalyst for good if, according to Wick, dissent is encouraged. Leaders in democratic organizations are characterized either by position, or their hierarchy within the organization, or informally, more from an expertise or directing a subordinate function. Formal leaders must be ready and willing to give up the lead to the informal, as well as support their contributions. All leaders in a democratic organization serve others, look to the future, facilitate the meaningful exchange within the organization, and help others have a future-oriented vision.